Welcome back, everybody. We are here with another superpower rant. Today, we are going to jump right in here. Mimic is the man of the hour. Let's see what Mimic is all about. Let's check out the history, then we'll jump to the powers, then I'll probably lose my mind somewhere along the way. Here's the origin. Kelvin Rankin was the son of a scientist who was working on various dangerous experiments. As a child, he was not allowed into his father's quarters where the experiments took place. However, at a young age, curiosity got the best of him. While inside his father's lab, he accidentally knocked down a beaker filled with an experimental chemical, causing the formation of a red gas, which he breathed in. The experiment his father was working on altered his body. As the months and years passed, Kelvin would be more frequently able to mimic the abilities of others while near them. Okay, interesting. I mean, it doesn't say how young of a child he was, but like when I was a kid, if I effed up something like of my parents, I would be out of there. Although maybe I would like try to clean it up so that there was no evidence. So yeah, I'd probably breathe in the weird gas too. I'd probably breathe it in. Yeah, I'd be mimicked too. Okay. Kelvin soon became the best at any sport, mimicking the abilities of the best players and without anyone knowing. He started to become hot-headed and arrogant as his powers grew. Okay. But soon all of his friends and classmates started to dislike and distrust him, referring to him as some kind of robot. Okay, it's weird. I can relate to the robot comment, that's fine, different story. Kelvin eventually lost all of his friends, but he blamed it on their jealousy, noting that he did not need any of them and was better than all of them. Okay, that's great. That's the history. He breathed in some red, weird chemical experimentation. Okay, good. Let's see what his powers actually are. They sound quite unbelievable, but let's see what they have back up these powers to make me love this character. That's what we do this for, right? All right, Mimic. I do already like, from the little I've read so far, that he can only mimic the powers and can't retain them. I love that because, I love anything that's temporary. You know, you can't hold on to everything, and the altering of powers all the time is something that's kind of interest to me. Anyway, let's read on about the powers before I get too excited, because I know I'm just going to hate this. Kelvin admitted to believing that he had some latent powers since birth due to his father having experimented on himself before Cal's birth. Caliban could sense Cal like a mutant. Interesting. Later, he was confirmed to be a mutant by Professor X. Okay, so he does have some sort of power. Maybe the red fog he breathed in wasn't everything. Maybe it just activated his powers. Anyway, power mimicry. The mimic is able to copy the knowledge, skills, and powers, if any, of every individual within a certain range of him. Different sources list this as anywhere from several feet to a mile radius. I mean, that's pretty good. This applies to both superhumanoid and normal abilities, as shown when he duplicated athletic skill on the football field in high school. Okay, like right off the bing, I mean, I have so much trouble finishing the paragraph because I have so much to say. How do you mimic the knowledge of somebody and then lose that knowledge? Like, you have amnesia? Like, I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the other things is like, okay, like, somehow, I guess this is all make-believe. Who gives a what? But like, if you know something to be true because you learned that information or obtained it from something, how do you just lose that information? Maybe it'll describe it. Okay. He has shown the capacity to manifest numerous normal abilities and or superhumanoid powers at the same time. And since he also absorbs knowledge, he can immediately use copied powers with the same skill level as the original owner. However, he occasionally shows difficulty in juggling multiple powers, and his body can be overloaded by absorbing too many at once. Usually the mimic loses his duplicated abilities once out of range of the owner, but theoretically, due to the length of time spent with them, his body will permanently retain the powers he mimics. So if he's within a mile radius of somebody with some sort of superpower, he will eventually spend enough time with them that his body will retain those powers. So I suppose the knowledge of how to use the power is important to use the power. That, I guess, is a loophole that they had to write in there to make it make sense. But if it's like, I'm just hanging around with some dude who knows, some bank manager who knows the vault code of the bank and where all the cameras are located, I could theoretically know that information as well and then rob that bank without being seen or setting off the alarm. Right? Is that knowledge also, like, does he... Also, how does he do it? Does he just gain everybody's information within a mile radius of him at all times? Or can he be selective somehow? Like, this is not enough information. I've got so many questions already. We're just getting started here. Okay, let's just see here. Over time, he permanently gained the ability to use powers of the original X-Men. Oh, no. I don't like this. I don't like that he permanently gets anything. The whole idea of mimicking is that you don't get to retain that's like the fun give and take of this whole character. I don't like that he permanently gets anything. Angel's winged flight. His wings were cut off during the extermination event for the sake of giving them to a younger version of Warren. Okay, so he grew wings and got to keep them. Beast's physiology, including superhuman strength and super agility. Cyclops' optic blasts. Iceman's cryokinesis. So that means he's as powerful as Iceman, and on top of that is able to do all these other powers? This guy seems to be like so OP if he gets to... Oh. Jean Grey's telekinesis. Only a limited psychokinesis ability. Okay, whatever. When interacting with normal humans, the mimic was able to duplicate their skills, personality traits, and intelligence. Thus, whenever he was in the vicinity of athletes, he gained superior athletic ability. They keep talking about this superior athletic ability. I don't care about that. I care about, like, this intelligence thing and their knowledge. Like, he knows. What kind of knowledge does he gain? Does he gain, like, their memories? Like, that's part of my knowledge. I know, okay, this is a bad example. I know what I ate for supper last night. That might not actually be true, but in this, scenario, let's say it's true. So if he's around me, will he know what I ate for supper last night? That's what I want to know. But none of this is being depicted here, and it's causing me anguish in so many ways. But like, oh, but he can be athletic. Like, who cares? That's like the very least of my concerns right now. When he's in the presence of a scholar, wait, I didn't finish the sentence. Not only did his knowledge expand, but also did his potential to learn. But it's temporary. I don't... He can potentially learn more, but does that mean whatever he learns in that time is gone later when he's out of the vicinity of that person? I'm so confused. Oh, okay. Previous powers duplicated. We don't really care about that because obviously he can just duplicate whoever he's in a frickin'... Okay, let's see if it says anything. Okay, blah. The Hulk attempted... What? Wolverine? Okay, this is dumb. Okay. Abilities. Kelvin Rankin is self-taught biochemist. Okay, that doesn't matter. Weakness. Kelvin suffers from bipolar disorder. Okay, great. I mean, that's a real thing. I assume, like, having, like, this give and take of powers could give you like some identity crisis. I would feel like I feel they could really delve into the weaknesses spot a bit more here, but I guess that's something at least. Yeah, I really don't like that he got to keep all of these powers. I feel like I would even buy into like, okay, you spent a year on a team with these people, you lived in the same mansion, and so like you gained all of these powers. But like, say the longer time you spend with somebody, maybe the longer it takes for that power to dissipate. But like, as soon as he's a mile away from that person or that power, the dissipation begins slowly, like a half-life, of radiation. So the longer time spent with it, the longer it takes for it to dissipate. But like, the power slowly gets weaker and weaker as time goes on. I would even buy into that. But like, permanently gaining the abilities, I don't really love. I also don't love this knowledge thing, even though I think it's purely a case of he needs to know how to use the powers he's gaining. I just don't like that. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of the character. I really do. Like the mimicking of it and like being able to counter the people he's around if he's in a fight with them, because he's got their power as well. He knows how to utilize it. He knows probably their weakness because of it. I like that idea, and it makes for a very interesting character. I like the idea potentially of like identity crisis, because he doesn't have his own real power. Not that this isn't a power, but like his powers are based on who's around him. So like, he doesn't really know who he is. I think that's kind of interesting. But they don't give me enough here. They don't give me enough to chew on here. So I feel like I want to go look this guy up and read some comics with him in it, but I'm too lazy. And so that makes me mad at myself. And so that's where we're going to end this rant, okay? Thank you so much, Hydrus, for this submission. I enjoyed and hated Mimic greatly. If you like this, please like and subscribe to this video, which may or may not get released. And if you'd like to suggest a character for me to rant on, or a power specifically to rant about, please leave it in the comments below. Keep it clean, and we'll catch you next time. He may not know what you ate, but he may be bloated like you. Yes, way too raw for you. That's what it sounds like. That's accurate. That's so funny. See the moon symbol in the red area, click it. Moon, oh, what's that? Oh, is there a dark mode on this? Hydrus, you're the best.